All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live show. Lots to talk about today. We are getting very close to the season. A couple weeks away. I think we're like a week and a half away at this point. But yeah, football's around the corner, folks. Tons of UTSA related topics today. Make sure you guys hit a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Need to make sure I'm live real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. I am live. Yeah, so make sure you guys drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for UTSA content for the year. There's going to be a lot of stuff I have in the works. A lot of things I have in the on the plan on the board over here for you guys this season. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about today. We're going to cover. What are we going to cover today? There's so much. Today we're going to talk about UTSA being underestimated. Obviously, that's on the thumbnail of the video. But I also want to talk about some of the starting quarterbacks that were announced for some of UTSA's upcoming opponents. I want to talk through. Is there enough buzz for the season opener? It's one of the subjects that I was going to talk to, and I actually got an interesting message from, and I already see him in the chat, Jacob Nagy. He brought something to my attention about an hour or a little bit less than an hour ago about how the home game, the opening home game for UTSA against Texas State is selling. I think there's some interesting notes there because, I mean, I don't know if there's no real data on this that I can see, but I mean, some folks are thinking that, UTSA or Texas State fans may outweigh UTSA fans on that day, and that cannot happen. So yeah, we'll get into a little bit of that, and then there's some silence from some of UTSA's key partners that I really, really want to talk about because I think it is a little alarming with some of that. So anyway, I am going to kick off first with the UTSA being underestimated bit here, and look. I think that like one of the things that I've been seeing, everybody's coming out with a prediction, right? Myself included, about how's UTSA going to do this year? How is the conference going to play out this year? How is conference play going to look? And one of the biggest things that's really caught my eyes over the last couple of weeks is how people perceive us, not only in the conference, because people have talked about, like, there's Tulane, there's Navy, and Navy definitely deserves the credit that they're going to get. They have some key returning players that were good last year. So I understand Navy and us not being sort of projected to beat them. But I look at a team like Tulane and I look at some of the other teams throughout the conference, and on paper right now going into these seasons, if you just use some of the logic, it's very hard for me to put some of these other teams that I'm seeing over UTSA. I'm seeing Memphis over UTSA. I'm seeing Tulane, even Army, and Army's one of the teams I was going to talk about who's ushering in a new quarterback. And like, depending on who you ask, I'm getting some people saying that there's going to be an 0-3 start. I'm getting some people saying it's going to be, an 0. Some people are even saying 0-4, which is bizarre to me. I'm starting to see a lot of 6-6 predictions. But I have seen people who are a lot more optimistic with UTSA and who are more of the mindset that UTSA is, going to win 9 games, 10 games. A lot of those are local people. So that comes with a grain of salt. So, but some of the outlets that I'm seeing outside of the local crowd and some of the people who are reporting on the program without any skin in the game aren't projecting UTSA to be very high. I've had to explain to people my predictions. I put out my predictions. I think UTSA will lose the game to A&M, but I do think UTSA will win the 3 games after that. Who knows? We'll see how it works. But yeah, people were asking me, why would you think that UTSA, what has changed to where you think UTSA will beat Texas State? And I'm like, yeah, guys, there's a lot. If you just look into some of this stuff, this is not me being condescending to that person, but if you look at, what Texas State lost coming into this season versus what UTSA lost coming into this season. The way I think some of the trade-offs and the way that works out in terms of early season performance is in UTSA's favor, and they're playing in the dome, which is also something that's going to be hugely important to the outcome of that game, in my opinion. But yeah, it just seems like things are all over the place. So I have this overly it's sort of like it's two separate crowds, right? You have this overly optimistic crowd who is really into what UTSA's just really investing in UTSA's success, and those are going to be the crowds. I'm a part of that crowd, right? But there's this other crowd who's like, you know what? They don't look that good. I think Coach Traylor is not the recruiter that everyone thinks. There are people questioning, you know, the team's discipline and like, will UTSA be able to reload? There are people coming to me talking about what he did in Gilmer and things like that. It's been crazy, but yeah, it's an insane sort of thing. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments about some of this stuff in terms of the underestimate UTSA being underestimated. Are you guys getting a sense of that, or is that just something I'm getting because I am trying to give more attention to people who aren't UTSA homers per se, and I could just be getting I could just be looking for that perspective, and maybe a lot of people aren't feeling like that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the questions because I think based on some of the questions as I scan, it's going to touch a lot of the topics. So we'll go ahead and start here. Fast Food Toy Box. He says, what do you think about the whole Jamory Robinson news? Guys, have y'all seen this, the Jamory Robinson news? It's really sad. So I'll give y'all the breakdown on the Jamory Robinson news the best way I can. Basically, so my understanding is that he graduated from UTSA when he was at UTSA. So as a sort of like a graduate player, he chose and elected to go and play at West Virginia. But something happened to where, like, I don't know if it was his last semester or what, but they are saying that he didn't take the amount of hours. He only took 6 hours, and he wasn't considered a full-time student or something like that. And he was told at that time that he would get a waiver from the NCAA that would allow him this eligibility to play, like an academic waiver or something, because he graduated. And guys, they didn't, from my understanding, the NCAA came back and said, yes, we understand what's going on, but he's not going to be eligible due to him only taking 6 hours the last time he was in school or something like that. But yeah, like, he's been preparing and, you know, ready to make his debut with that team, and he's not going to be able to play. He's not going to be eligible academically to play. Really, really sucks. I really hate it for that kid. He was the conference defensive player of the year last season. He's obviously, was a big time player for UTSA, and yeah, he got a raw end of the deal. It really sucks for him. I hate it for him. Mike says, heck yeah, we're being underestimated. I think Tulane is favored by many simply because of Summerall. Their defense still has to stop our offense at the Dome. That's a big ask. I mean, that's the biggest thing with the Tulane game, right? Like, I don't think Tulane is – I don't think they're coming in with, like, better just a better team than UTSA is at this particular point in time. I think, yes, you got the quarterback that's only been there for a couple of weeks. He's going to be your starting quarterback. So that's who you're rolling out week one. That's a thing. I think the second thing is, like, when you compare that with what UTSA is going to be rolling out week one, we're going to be a high-powered, high-attained offense. Well, the defense is going to have to catch up. But a defense with we got some guys there with some experience. I expect our front seven to be good. We're going to have some guys in the secondary that's going to have to step up and prove themselves that they can deliver consistently. But, I like the fact that UTSA has that game at home. And I don't shrug so much at people putting Tulane over UTSA, mainly because they are a good team and they're going to be a team that's going to be tough for us to beat. But having them at home just gives me a positive outlook on how our matchup will go head up. But UTSA does have to maintain the consistency throughout the season to ensure that we warrant an opportunity to play for a conference title. So yeah, Tulane is not the one I'm necessarily worried about. But like people scoffing at the idea that UTSA is not a viable title contender in the American Conference this year. That's kind of crazy to me, if I'm just being completely honest. That one is something I'm not understanding very well. Yeah, insane. The next one, Mike says, I saw a video of the luncheon today, and it seemed like there were way more players than people there. Not sure of the turnout, but it didn't look as good as years past. Yeah, I thought that as well. I don't want to jump into conclusions to what it was. I tried to psychoanalyze those photos as much as possible. I was hoping, I haven't seen anything from JJ yet, but it would be great if we could get numbers on how many people was there compared to last year. It did look a little, they were in a different venue as well. So that could be another reason as to why. I think the venue was a bit smaller than I was at the one last season, the kickoff luncheon last season. That venue was quite big, or that room was quite big. This one looks a little smaller, but I don't know. I don't know how it went. I will tell you that I just think in general, one of the things that I've been worried about is for whatever reason, like I really want you guys to get in the comments on this one. Well, let me know what you guys think. I feel like there's not enough buzz. Like it's like a couple weeks ago, the buzz for the season was like huge. I feel like it was all over my timeline. Right now, on my timeline is filled with San Antonio's mayor, to be completely honest. But in all seriousness, I don't know. I'm not feeling like the buzz of like the season opener that's coming. I mean, what are we, 11, 12 days away from the season opener, or maybe 12 days or so away from the opening game. I am excited for football, but I'm not feeling the energy from the UTSA fan base in general, at least online on Twitter. I get the energy from you guys here every Wednesday, but that's kind of a cheat code, right? Like, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that, though. It's something that I don't know. It could be just me, but I don't know. It's weird. Caleb says, any news / updates on the defensive side of the ball, position battles, depth, etc. So yeah, I think so here is sort of what I know on the defensive side of the ball, I guess. I mean, there's some guys that you're gonna see. You're gonna see your Owen Pee Wees, Kendrick Blackshire, somebody that's gonna be a day one start, or gonna be starting in this year. I'm seeing reading a lot about him. They've been raving about him and how he's lost 30 pounds and how he has really gotten healthy and shaped his body in a way that is going to be huge for us. Davin Martin, I don't know if it's Davin or David Martin, but I think it's Davin Martin at the cornerback position is going to be a starter from what I'm hearing. Jakevian Rogers is going to be in that corner rotation as well. Secondary, Jimmy Warwick, you're gonna see a lot of him. You're gonna see Jamarius Lewis a lot. Elijah Newell's gonna be rotating in with them guys as well. And then the front seven is just gonna be a lot of guys as you see, John Jones, Wimberly. There's just a whole list of guys in that front seven you're gonna see. So I think from what I'm understanding, the depth is going to be on the defensive line. I'm hearing that the defense, well, I did hear from some folks just throughout the camp, the defensive line has looked really good, and they've had a really positive camp so far. And I'm hearing that the depth looks good there. So, and it's nothing, I expect that from UTSA. We always have, good pass rushers. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see here in 12 days. I'll tell you that. Cody says, what's your impression of the new unis? I think they're fine, not blown away. Something is lacking, though. Helmets are nice, though. Yeah, I mean, look, from what listen, they still haven't done a uniform reveal, which is bonkers to me. This is what I mean by like, create some excitement. Like, for whatever reason, I just feel like people will be happy to see the uniforms. I guess we kind of got a uniform reveal. Like, I have one of the things on my thumbnail I wanted to put was like, hey, here's, I guess, what UTSA's uniforms are going to look like. They put out that graphic of Owen McCown being nominated for another quarterback preseason award, or he made another quarterback watch list. I think this was the Johnny Unitas watch list. And yeah, I mean the white looks okay. Like the white jerseys look fine. It's nothing special. It looks like the generic sort of thing with a couple little stripes. I mean, it should be fine. It's nothing to ride home about. I'm not even that worried about it. Like, it is what it is. Did y'all see this? So I seen something like this is kind of when I talk about innovation. I love to see things like this, but I hate that UTSA is never at the front line of this. Did y'all see what Middle Tennessee did for NIL, for like to be able to pay their kids more? So they're gonna go with one helmet color. Like, let me know if y'all would think if y'all think this would be something UTSA should look into, or if they should do something like this. But anyway, they are going to do one helmet like color, like one helmet type color or whatever. And then I think this is Middle Tennessee. I kind of want to look this up before I state it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so in order to like get more money, and they're going to free up $668,000 by they eliminated their two alternate uniforms, and they're going to have a home uniform and away uniform, and I think they're going to wear the same like helmet color or something like that, the same helmets. I don't know, something with their helmets, but they eliminated the alternative uniforms. And that's going to give them $668,000 that's going to be allocated toward their NIL. It makes uniforms not even a big discussion or worry about me for me at that point. Like, I wouldn't care if we could gain $668,000 to like create opportunities to pay our players. Like, that would be dope to me. And one of the things, and by the way, I did formally reach out to Dr. Campos to see if she would come on my show. I got left on red. No response. So yeah, I tried, guys. But it's that's something that I would like to ask her about. Like, I would like to, like, what is UTSA? I see all of these stories from these other schools about like how, they've, like, for example, Memphis was in the news again about a new, even a bit more onto the deal with FedEx, right? With some of the stuff they're doing with the end zones, and this Middle Tennessee thing, like getting rid of some of their alternative uniforms so they could get an extra $668,000. Why isn't UTSA never like on the forefront of being innovative in that way? Like, I don't know. It's one of the things that's like, we need some creative minds in there that's make some of these decisions, man. It's crazy. Did I like miss? Yeah. I think I answered your question. Jacob. So yes, I want to talk about this as well. Jacob says September 6th, Ticketmaster is looking bleak with 2 weeks out. Away side filling out faster. We know Texas State travels. Haven't released all tickets in the lower bowl. What do we attribute this to? Market condition? I'm so glad you brought this up, Jacob. Listen, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. I can tell you this right now. There are more Texas State fans that honestly watch this show, and I've said this before, and I'll give Zach another shout out. But you'll be surprised at the amount of Texas State fans that interact with my content, and nowhere near the love that I get from my UTSA folks. But what I'm saying is, for an opposing team to like engage with my content this much and to be looking forward to the game this much, it just lets me know that they are ready. They are confident, they're ready, and they are chomping at the bit to come to San Antonio on September 6th to see what their Bobcats are going to be able to do. That in itself is kind of crazy. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. And I think for UTSA fans in general, we've been big brother to Texas State for so long. We almost don't take them serious in football anyway. And it just worries me. I'll say that. Like, and it shouldn't, because that has nothing to do with on the field stuff. But I do think one of the things about the dome is the dome gets loud, and when UTSA fans show up to the dome, it's a crazy environment. Trust me, I've been in there when that joker was 56,000 deep. That's an insane environment to play in. I played in a lot of games there when we were still doing 40 plus thousand often. 35, 40, high 30s often. It's a crazy time. Or that's a crazy advantage, right? It's just a crazy advantage. And it does worry me that it is at least looking like it from a Ticketmaster standpoint that Texas State is buying early, and they are going to have a big presence there. I like the fact that it's going to be big, competitive, and it's probably going to be a nasty game. But yeah, like my feelings about the buzz not being as like high as I would expect it to be, and all of that. Like some of these types of like little nuggets like this kind of validate those feelings a little bit. But I'll be curious to hear what you guys think here in the comments about some of this stuff. Frank says icy whites are pretty nice, not gonna lie. They're all right. They're all right. Nothing special. Icy white's always gonna look good with the colors we have. The white, orange, and blue and the white uniforms are always gonna be a hit. You can't really mess those up. Jacob says, we know SA can show out. They have before, but front office really having a hard time convincing people to spend their extra dollars at the dome. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think they're trying. Like, I don't know. I think they're trying, man. I wish that they were a little bit more. I don't know. I just think there's so much that they can do that they can do, and other levers that they can pull that could draw up a bit more excitement. And they just for whatever reason don't ever do it. It's not my job. It's not my job. I can't tell you that, like, I shared a little bit more about this in detail in my Discord, but in the rumor mill of the Discord. So this is for like supporters and supporter plus tier. Those I don't know how much they're not interested in a lot of the things I'll say. I'll leave it at that. You can see if you're on my Discord at all, you can go and look at the details on some of that, but I'll just leave it at that. I got a note today that was frustrating. Or a message, I should say. Anyway, Kermit says, any news on health of the team come install time? From what I hear, the team, there's no significant injuries. I mean, guys get banged up in camp a little bit, but I haven't heard of anything significant enough to report on. Batfoy, this is probably the year I have the least expectations in a long time. Elaborate on this, please, Batfoy. Least expectations in what way? Is this you don't expect UTSA to have a good season, or you don't expect, like, you're not, I don't know, just elaborate a little bit for me. So I'm assuming you're saying like you don't think they're going to do well. And that's interesting. I'd be curious as to why. Hope you give us a little bit more details there. Oh, Steven says, I see UTSA finishing in the top 3 in the American this year. I'm optimistic about their chances. Shout out to Steven, who has an Ohio, University of Ohio logo as his profile picture. Shout out to Steven. Thank you for being here. If you enjoying the content at all, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, I would say I see this is exactly what I see. I think UTSA will finish in the top 3. I actually think they're more, I mean, I don't know, more likely the best way to put it, but I think 2 is I think UTSA will make a conference championship appearance, but top three is not terrible. Mike says disappointed we haven't released a true hype video yet. Seems like we always stumble into every season and don't build momentum as far as hype and fan again. So other people are feeling this too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that's about, bro. Like, I yeah, I don't know what that's about. Honestly, man, I wish it was better. I think um I don't do hype videos. It takes a lot of time to make things like that. Shout out to the people who do that. We do have people on Twitter who take their best shot at it. I think there's a few guys on Twitter. I will shout them out, but I don't want to butcher their names right now. Who make some videos. So shout out to them for doing that work. I don't know, like, so I guess other people are seeing it too. The reason I know that too, some people are DMing me and was like, "Yo, like, what's going on? Why isn't there enough noise? Why isn't there noise about the season?" And I think part of some of the anticipation for the season is people like it's like me, right? I host a show and I am excited for the season and I am talking about what's going to happen in the season, giving season projections and things like that, and like getting the community together again as we go, get ready to support the runners. I'm tweeting my behind off, trying to make sure that like I'm getting everybody at least in the mode for football coming up. So keep interacting and engaging with those tweets so we can get more people involved with that. But yeah, I mean, I would expect a lot more from the social teams and things like that. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I will say, like, I think they do better whenever a lot of folks go in and ask for something. So I would say do something targeted. My recommendation would be like, I don't know if it's under Lisa Campos and stuff, or if it's filling up her like mentions with something, or maybe Brad Smith filling his mentions up with something. But I think it's going to take a concerted effort like that for them to like wake up to some of this. I can tell you they're not going to listen to anything I say. A lot of people think they will, but they won't. Not those people. I have better conversations with coaches and stuff than I do with some of the admin people. Kermit said, to be fair, I have 5 tickets to the Texas State game on the visitor side. Sadly, they were just cheaper. Okay. There we go. Hey, that could be it. That could be why. I ain't mad at it. At least you'll be there. Take up their seating. We need as many of UTSA people as possible. Let's see. Do people really buy tickets at home based on home and away? Home based. Oh, like buy tickets at home based on home and away. I have no idea. I can't say that I pay for a ton of tickets because I'm either like getting a player sort of thing or I'm going as a media person. I buy tickets for people. I can tell you when I do that, I don't I just pick good seats and buy them. But I typically do them on like the home side, like behind the sideline if I can. David says, why don't some super fans show up to the luncheon? Super fans like who? Maybe am I considered a super fan? I can tell you I didn't show up to the luncheon this year's because I mean I don't have the time. It's hard to like get away for drive to another city. Like, but my work schedule is bonkers, man. I couldn't do it this year. I did it last year because I wanted to one of the donors that are like, he's a big supporter of me. He's always been a big supporter of me, like invited me out there. And I more so went last year just to like hang out with him. We hadn't hung out in a while, so that was pretty cool. I want to see the team as well, but like I don't get the same enjoyment of going to meet players at an event like that as other folks do. So that's my reason, but I don't know about some other folks though. But some of that stuff you also have to tell people in enough time. Like and I don't know if UTSA gets the word out the way that they think they do. Uh, I can't tell you who I won't say who it was from, but I got a call from somebody pretty important over there. Probably what is it, the 20th? This was about this is about 8 days, a little over a week ago, and they called me and say, "Hey, don't say anything, but we're thinking about like putting this thing out to like promote something for people to show up to. What do you think?" And I was like, yeah, like should be fine. People should show up. Um, but the thing they wanted people to show up to, I'll just say it, there was just not enough time for a lot of people. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think UTSA like the fact that I got a call at that time for an event that was just right around the corner. I'm like, good luck with that. That's how some of these things go. Unfortunately. It's Rab says, like I said, SA doesn't care about Texas State, but Texas State made UTSA their Super Bowl. It benefits one side and it's not UTSA, but this is what the media wants to keep UTSA at a lower level. SA wants more. I'm gonna tell you now, it's Rab is for sure gonna let me know that the UTSA and Texas State situation is one sided. Pogo say you will see a completely different Army team. Dwayne Coleman went to Roosevelt High School in San Antonio. He's a natural passer. Watched him beat Judson. Army wanted him bad. Yeah, so I saw that. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about, which I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, I mean, Army and Navy have done they've done honestly a pretty good job at revitalizing their offense and making it more modern. They're like a lot of folks are like, oh, they're just going to run the ball 100 times. They don't do that anymore. They're not planning to do that in the same way. There's still some of that. There's still some option involved, but they are starting to get quarterbacks and starting to get players that's starting to spray at the field and modernize their offense a little bit more. So, yeah, I mean, I think that can be interesting. If that kid hits the ground running, you could be complete. You could be looking at a team that they've been our kryptonite for so long. They start to evolve their offense. They could be drop top this year. It's Rap says he needed minimum 6 hours. Did have it, which he needed minimum 6 hours. He did have it, which sucks. Okay, talking about Jamory Robinson. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. David says I feel like uniforms are still incomplete. We might not get anything official finish till game week, probably, but game week is next week, right? So, yeah, maybe. Grace article says about 500 supporters. Okay, well, that's a pretty good turnout. I would say I'm pretty sure they hit their goals if 500 was the amount. It's not bad. Um, by the way, if anybody is interested in joining if anybody's interested in fantasy football, shoot me a DM. It's gonna be first come, first serve. We got 2 open slots in my fantasy football league. I'm running with my man Ivan. We're co-commissioned. The league that I started last year from the show. So if you're interested, got 2 slots open. Shoot me a DM. We'll get you added to the group chat. Let's see. Frank says another casualty caused by the Gina Ortiz Jones scandal. UTSA hype. Honestly, yes. Like, listen, I don't want to get into politics and like San Antonio's politics. I think I tweeted something out that some folks DM me and was like, "Oh, you're gonna get like bombarded with like crazy tweets." But I don't live in San Antonio anymore, so like I'm not like as passionate about it. But I can't tell if people love this woman or hate this lady. But what I can say is everybody has an opinion about what she's doing right now. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to like insert my opinion on what's going on. Mike says you're spot on. There isn't enough buzz on the season. Marketing has really missed the boat. It seems like I feel like there's so many missed opportunities that we aren't taking advantage of. I agree. I'm really annoyed with it, to be honest. Yeah, I'm annoyed with it. I'm annoyed with it mostly because I've like tried to do some due diligence to I've tried to do my due diligence to help. Um and you know, nothing it just doesn't work out. Is what I'll say. It doesn't work out. But I hope that they get on it, honestly. Frank says stuff got me politically involved. I'll be voting from now on. Gotta live to see a renovated dome for the runners. Anthony says, any buzz on any of our NFL rookies trying to make an NFL roster? Have you heard of anything on who's standing out versus not? Elliot Davidson is somebody is a name that has been coming up a lot. I don't know if he made it through the last rounds of cuts though. Um, he's someone that I've been hearing good things about. He's been playing. He's been playing well from what I've been hearing. I've seen some of the tape on him, so hopefully he does something. Who else? I haven't heard much about Oscar. The name. I mean, this is not a rookie, but the name that I've been hearing the most about is Joshua Cephas and how he's been killing it. No, he's not a rookie, obviously, but it's just a name that's continuing to come up a lot. Um, yeah, so I don't know. Let's see. It's Rap says no buzz because every outlet is saying that we're lucky to be even playing Texas A&M. That UTSA can never win. The media took out all the excitement with this narrative. It's saying that we're lucky. Yeah, the lucky to be playing A&M is kind of crazy. I don't know if like saying predicting UTSA is not going to win that game and saying they can't win that game is two different things. Um, yeah. Mike says, yeah, Middle Tennessee was thinking outside the box to generate money. UTSA needs to do that, push the envelope. Yeah, it's funny how like I don't know if you guys caught this, but like if you read Greg Lucas' article, and shout out to Greg, man, Greg is great. Like I will always say, like he's one guy. I love reading his content. He does really good journalism, and yeah, I think he does ask some pretty tough questions at times too. And I think I always respect that about him. He's right. He wrote an article, and if you just notice like the tune changing around UTSA's um what UTSA is doing on the money standpoint. And I think I'm just gonna like just follow me here. I'll ask you guys to follow me here. So if you think about like what's been going on, like what's been the big discourse, right? Over the last like 12 to 18 months is like UTSA is not like all the coaches are complaining about the lack of resources that they're getting, that they've gotten. And to my knowledge, like I think rev share actually obviously helps, right? But to my knowledge, like there has not been anything significant enough that has made a splash on the NIL front that is making coaches begin to change their tune. So to me, I think there's like I don't know if it's because the season is starting or maybe because all the coaches have now gotten a lot of the coaches have gotten raises, significant pay bumps. So like they want to scratch their ads, or pat their ad on the back or scratch their back a little bit. But one of the key notes that I seen in Greg's article was like I think Traylor talked about like the work we have to do to get the money into the NIL rev share money, like to where we're at the top of the conference or competing with the top folks. He says, well, we're not at the bottom, but we're not at the top. We got work to do. And for a while, if you follow a lot of Traylor's comments on this stuff, like that's a little bit of a different tune. It's not, can't necessarily say it's a different tune, but I have just noticed a tune change a little bit from like this summer coming into this season where it's like since a lot of these coaches have gotten paid, I think their talk about resources has dimmed a little bit. Now, what that could mean is UTSA is doing great with all the money things behind the scenes, and they're just not announcing it to anybody. But that doesn't sound like UTSA, if I'm being honest. If we got some money or something like that, we're probably going to shout from the rooftops to be able to make a splash like that, like these other teams are doing, right? Like Middle Tennessee was happy to tell everybody that they are saving $668,000 because they're getting rid of alternate uniforms. You know what I'm saying? So like, if something that dramatic had happened for UTSA, I guarantee you we hear about it. But we haven't heard about that yet. And that brings me to something else. I'm glad you said. I'm glad you made me think about this. One of the things I wanted to talk about when one of the topics I said, like, we're not hearing from key partners. Well, one of the things, and when I say key partners, I'm talking about Playfly. And the reason I bring that up is almost every week, someone in my comments or someone in my DMs or someone just in my Twitter mentions or X mentions ask me about, hey, what impacts have you heard anything about what Playfly has done? And for those of you in the Discord, I've already shared some of this. But like, I talked to Playfly in the summer quite a bit. Went out and had lunch with them to, just talk about their plans, some of their ideas and things like that. And I think for the most part, like, everybody has ideas and plans, and they're reasonably fine, right? Conceptually anyway. But there's one thing to have plans, and there's one thing about delivering those or making progress toward those. And I don't know if that's happened or if there's any progress. I did reach out. Yeah, I did reach out to them to see, like, hey, is there anything, big, that any kind of big announcement or anything like that you guys have done in your partnership or has delivered to UTSA that's been a huge win? Just so we can talk about it, right? Like, I mean, obviously their partnership is supposed to be a big deal for UTSA and the team, but so yeah, we'd love to talk about it. Got no response. And that could be for two reasons. Number one, it may not just be anything to tell. Things are still underway, so on and so forth. So that could very well be it. It also could be maybe something's in the pipeline, but they don't want to share anything publicly. But typically when that's the case, they will tell me, like, not them in particular, the proverbial they, just like people around the program that say, hey, this is happening, but can't really say anything about it. You can't say anything about it. It has to be something off the record. Didn't really get that type of situation. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious at, like, what's going on there. So it's just been very, very quiet from them, considering that, like, hey, they were very happy to celebrate whenever they hiked up the prices in the Alamo Dome for people. So it's kind of weird that it's just quiet now. Everybody's tight-lipped. And it also could be that some folks are saying, don't talk, don't say anything to me. That could be something too. Anyway, aren't we supposed to get a field sponsor sometime soon? This is more of what I'm talking about. I don't know. I mean, I've heard all these ideas. I've heard a lot of these things that we're supposed to do. When I reached out and asked, no response. So I don't know. You bring up great questions. Maybe it's time to look to new leadership at the AD position. Yes, Lisa can hire, but seems she fails at raising money. We need money. I mean, I don't want to suggest that. Like, I just think, I mean, I know there are a lot of people out there that feel that way. I don't necessarily want to. I don't know what to say about that. I just want whatever's best for the program. That's ultimately where I'm at with it. Like, yeah. Listen, here's the thing. I just see so much from other programs. I'm not even kidding. Like one of the things that I've been doing this summer is just like following other schools and not just being so UTSA focused. I mean, I'm obviously UTSA focused from a content standpoint, but I have so much like just because I've been covering it, I have a lot of knowledge already tucked away that I can just fire to. So a lot of the time I do research, I'll be looking at other schools and see what they're doing. And it's just crazy to me how like so many of these other schools are on the front foot and who are like creating the excitement. Their ADs are doing X, Y, and Z. You look at the UT AD just got an extension, and he's great on Twitter. That I think he's a really good athletic director. Um, but yeah, I just feel like we're very slow with everything, and we're like not as poppy with everything as like some of these other schools are. And I don't know how to solve that, if I'm honest. I mean, it's not my job or our job to solve, but yeah, I don't know. Mike says, hopefully the dome acoustics don't backfire on us because there's more Texas State fans there potentially. It better not be more Texas State fans at this game. It better not be. Mike says, and an idea for the luncheon would be to sell a link to view it online, and you get a swag bag mailed to you. Sell access for a fraction of the seat price. Just a way to support for those who can't go. Honestly, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. But that's what I mean. Like, that's a great idea. Honestly, we need more people with ideas like that that's coming forward and getting the attention of those folks. And maybe that's something they can implement for next year. I know they have like I think they do have like an online. They do have an online auction when you're there, or whatever. Like you scan a QR code and you can like purchase some of the things while you're there, or I think they may have it. They send it to you in email too, I think. But like, there's no way to watch it. I mean, I think it would be cool to see some of that stuff and see, Jerry Rice in there with all the folks. And I actually enjoyed quite a lot Emmett Smith last year with Coach Traylor and like them talking. That was pretty cool. It was like a little fireside chat between the two. It was pretty nice, man. It was a cool. Emmett told a cool story. Coach Traylor told some cool stories up there. It was a really cool event, man. And I think it's something that's positive. I think it's one of the really good things that UTSA and the city fans folks are doing. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good idea, honestly. Neil says they definitely don't get the word out like you would expect. I've been a monthly donor for 2 years and have never been contacted or even received the email about these events. Yes, that's what I mean. Like, um, here's the thing, and I want to get you guys' comments on this while we wrap up the last 10 minutes of the show. To me, like that right there is like it's inexcusable, right? It's inexcusable because you got to take care of the people that's giving you money and that's funding some of the things you want. And to me, how long is the excuse of they're under resources? They're under resourced. How long is that going to fly? I guess you know. Now I know we just hired I think we just hired like a VP of ticket sales here pretty recently. So I mean that's great. So that means there's somebody else in there that's gonna like be in charge of making sure tickets are getting sold and things like that. I don't know how much that person's gonna do in terms of coming in and being like, Tanya Perez. She was just hired for associate athletics director for ticket sales and retention. So that would be the exact person you need to talk to. You've been a donor for 2 years. I'm sure you're a season ticket holder as well, and I'm sure that she'd want to retain you. So she's going to be your person, Tanya Perez. If you get if somebody sends you this, get on it. People want to stay UTS, but this is what I'm saying. Like seeing this type of content here, and he ends it with the like emoji. You gotta protect and this is one of the things I told them. This is some of the feedback I gave them a lot in the summer, and I said this a ton. I'm like, I told them 1,000 times, guys, you have to understand who the audience is. Like, like like, for example, if you're reaching out to a former athlete to like donate, do something different, donate or like come to a game or something, right? Inviting them to an event or something. Like you have to sort of like cater to that subset of people. Like one email blast is not going to reach everybody the same way. Like donors or people who are consistent donors, there should be a certain outreach for them to make sure they feel cared about. There are opportunities for them to like be more connected and feel more connected with the program and these sorts of things. Like you got to have some of that, going on. And if you don't, man, like you're going to lose the interest of people. And that type of thing is important. Mike says, I honestly think the coaches are just tired of asking about money, almost like they've given up. Honestly, if you know what I know, and you know what I've been told, that's just not a great position to be in. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to fearmonger, but yeah, I am not trying to be short with your comment, Mike, but I don't know if I share much, I don't know if it's going to be a positive thing. So I'll leave it there. The season's here. I want to try to kick off with as much positivity as I can. Anthony says, perfect example is we can start the hype here as UTSA fans, promote on our own personal social media pages to start. It doesn't hurt to get the hype started so our fellow fans can forward. Absolutely. That's what I think is the biggest thing though, right, Anthony? Like, we don't need to rely on the program itself to get everybody excited, although they are like a lot of what comes through their filter and out to the public is what gets people excited. But yeah, I mean, you're certainly right about like we can do some of that stuff here. Like I said, like a lot of that has to do with conversation and things on. It's so crazy how Twitter is such a big deal to UTSA folks. Like I try to explain it to people like who are not like UTSA followers or supporters at all. And they ask me like, why are you on Twitter so much? I'm like, yo, that's where it's going down. Like what I do in my spare time covering the school and doing some of this stuff freelance. If I'm not locked in on the socials, man, like there's nothing, I'm not doing anything or I'm not doing things right. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely up to us. And like I said, like, let's just keep pushing as much as we can to get people there. Mike says, invite the new VP of ticket sales to the show. Listen, Mike, you're in my Discord. Yeah. By the way, folks, if you want to join the Discord, want to subscribe to the channel, you want to join as a member and donate some funds to my cause of doing this stuff, you can check the description. I have all the links lined up there, but there's also a link to my Discord where I share a little bit more stuff, about a little bit more details that I don't necessarily say on here. If you want access to that, there's a link to that as well. But what I will say is, Mike, one of the notes in my Discord in like the support and the supporter plus session, I give some insight as to why I don't think this would happen. You know what? I'll just say it. I have sort of, there has been a message sent to me today that would give me, there's a message sent to me today that would suggest that these people have been advised to not engage with me online. I'll leave it at that. So I can try, I can ask, but I don't know if they probably wouldn't show up. It's Rap says, I hope there is more Texas State fans when y'all see. Wait, what? I hope there's more Texas State fans. Then y'all see it was a mistake to punch down and see SA not showing up because they want bigger brands. Y'all don't want to accept the new era of college football. I mean, you know what? Yeah, like I definitely hope there's not more Texas State fans that shows up to the Alamo Dome. That would be a disaster, if I'm being honest. Um, but yeah, I mean, I know where you're getting at. I know where you're getting at here. I'm not even mad at your perspective. Like different strokes for different folks. I get where you're coming from though. Twitter is 80% bots. That's why no one seems to understand what San Antonio really wants. There's a lot of bots on Twitter, to be fair. But I will say there's not a lot of like so Twitter when Twitter did a purge on like to try to reduce bots accounts, I lost a lot of followers. So now, like anytime anybody follows me, I definitely go look at their page to see, like, hey, what's going on? Like, is this a bot or not? Because a lot of times I'll block the bots because I want all of my followers to be people that actually engage. So I really curate who I follow, not necessarily who I follow so much because I get a lot of followers. Sometimes, well, I say a lot of followers. I don't have that many, 2,300, but my 2,300 is loud because they all interact with the content for the most part. So I get really good engagement. But yeah, there's a lot of bots on Twitter and a lot of bad bots too. There was one thing I posted the other day and it got ate up by the bots, and I like deleted the tweet. I was like, no, not getting me. Karen says, "Hey Darren, I enjoy watching your show." Well, thank you so much for being here, Karen, and I appreciate the nice words, and I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Caleb says, "Absolutely insane that they've been advised to not be publicly available." So I want to be very clear about this. I'm not saying that they have been advised to not be publicly available. They, from what I've been told, have been advised not to engage with me publicly. So I wanted to make sure I draw that distinction. It's been sort of a beware of this guy's posts. Beware of engaging him. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. At least that's what I've been told. Could be wrong. Could be this person could not be truthful. They could be lying to me, but they're probably not. Because it's not the first time I've heard it. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't know why that would. I don't know. Other than me calling out things that all of you guys are sort of, I take a lot of y'all's feedback and I will try to bring it to the source. So I'll write an article about, like, if people are complaining about the marketing, as a lot of people have talked, like had comments about the marketing here in this very chat, I will write an article about it. I mean, my audience is like super. I cater to y'all. Like that's sort of my thing. My audience and all of my content is community driven, right? So I don't know if I think some of my perspectives and some of like the things that I talk about, I don't know. I don't want to make it a big deal, but because that person, like I said, they could have got bad information, but it's not the first time I've heard it. It's football time. Let's go, Berto. Bro, it is. Listen, this time next week, I will be doing a deep dive preview on UTSA versus Texas A&M. And we're going to be talking X's and O's and talking about players, matchups, and things like that. Like, that's what I cannot wait for. This is the last week for a while where we won't have a game that we're like talking about. That's when this chat is going to be crazy. So I appreciate you guys for sticking with me throughout the summer and the off season. Like, a lot of y'all ain't missed not a show. So shout out to y'all for being troopers, man. It's gonna get crazy. There's gonna be a lot of people in the chat. That's gonna be new over these next couple of weeks. So make sure y'all keep showing up. And yeah, I'm always gonna cater to the day ones. I'm gonna do these last few comments, and I'm gonna get us up out of here today. Crispy Bacon says, "Sounds like they don't like constructive feedback and prefer soft coverage." Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna try not to say too much, but maybe. Shout out to Crispy Bacon. That's the homie. Let's see. Caleb said, "What are some early edges you think we'll have against A&M?" I'm gonna save that for next week. and I'm still getting. I have some things already, but like I am probably halfway through sort of my process for how I'm getting ready to speak about going into that game. So I'll have more finite stuff on that next week. My articles and stuff like that is going to dial into that a lot more coming up pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. Anthony says college game days are upon us. Let's go 2-1-0. Let's go, bro. Yes, give me that Texas A&M versus UTSA coming. It's coming. We already here. I'm already working on it, bro. I cannot wait. Get your Aggie jumps ready. Yeah. Hey, shout out to y'all for being so fun, man, and being interactive in the chat. Like I said, it's game time, baby. It's game time. So I'll check in with y'all next week. If I missed anything or if there's anything else you want to talk about, hit me up on Twitter, Darian_UTSA. Make sure you guys like the video. If you're still here, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys on Twitter, and I'll catch you guys same time next week. Peace.